So it's sad. It's tragic what has happened to Candace. I used to greatly admire Candace Owen. I thought she was absolutely tremendous and just such a boon and asset to our side and to our the conservative belief systems and to the Christians and the conservatives and she really was fantastic. And she could argue like nobody else. And now she didn't have the facts and figures and stats and scriptures and all these things that Charlie had. Usually fairly light on that, but boy, she had a way of just shutting down ridiculous arguments tremendously effectively, and seemed to be highly intelligent and super impressive. I one of my favorites of hers was when the one gal, she says, "Oh, my feelings are hurting." Candace says, "Life is hard. Wear a helmet. I'm too pregnant to care about your feelings." I love that. And there's many other times when she just shut down people coming at her. And then came after after the massacre there in Israel and the ensuing war, and not that far into it, she pretty much said, and she said, "I don't know anything about what's going on, but there's too much killing, and I just take the moral high ground in the middle that I just want the killing to stop. I want Israel to stop attacking these poor people and killing them, and there's just too much death, and Israel just needs to stop, and that's my moral high ground." And again, based upon, I don't know anything, I just taken this middle ground of the killing must stop. Israel must stop what it's doing. And I remember thinking, Candace, just walk across the hall. There's this guy there. You might have heard of him, Ben Shapiro, old Uber Jew. He knows everything about everything, and certainly everything there is to know about Israel and what is actually happening there. And you could learn a lot. Just go, okay, I don't know anything. Well, go learn or go read a book. But she clearly didn't do that, and she got into the saying a bunch of stuff, and they got her fighting with Ben Shapiro and him fighting back, and eventually they left on bad terms. And I'm sure they have NDAs that say they can't talk about it, and then also there's the Christian and Jewish ideas that you don't air your fights with even former friends and former Christians and Jews. You don't air all that dirty laundry out in the public. You deal with it behind the scenes. And so clearly he's done that, and she is not. So anyway, so as time went on, it was very clear that she went from don't know anything to started getting, of course, everybody was, when they saw that she was willing to listen to all the old tropes, all the why Jews are bad, that everybody's been sending her all the old tropes, and she opens it up and reads that and memorizes it and learns, a very rudimentary level of old anti-Jewish tropes, all the while saying, I'm not anti-Semitic, but having gone far, far beyond what is happening in Israel today into hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and all the old tropes and rationalizations of why Jews are bad, and it's okay to run them out of town or ethnically cleanse them or shove them into the ovens. So it's very clear, and she got to a point you could tell that she's, I know everything. I want to debate Ben Shapiro. So she's her whole thing has become conspiracy theories, and she's got one for. There's nobody she seems to not be willing to take down with her conspiracy theories, including her dear beloved friend Charlie Kirk, who she has spent since he died, just going into high gear with every conspiracy theory and all that, while everybody else is talking about what a great man Charlie Kirk was, and using that as a step to talk about Christ, which was all that Charlie wanted to talk about, was Christ, and how to be a good Christian and a good man and a good this and that. And rather than talk about her dear friend and what a great man he was, she's used it solely for, you guessed it, I think it was the second day that he died. When I put up a post, I thought I was the first, but everybody else is thinking the same thing. How long is it going to take Candace Owens to say the Jews did it? The Jews killed dear Charlie. And it was about 48 hours. It was about 48 hours before we got to, it was the first day. It's like, oh, I'm such a dear friend. I'm so heartbroken. Did you notice that the shooter did this, and it was really weird because the thing, and I've been all these people having, she had off in high gear with every conspiracy under the sun, and of course it led to inevitably to the Jews. Okay, they shot JFK and they've done everything. So one of that, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and every conspiracy theory, and everybody's lying, including all the people that have called her friends, the Kash Patel and Bongino, and people that have really been considered her a friend. And now they're all in this big conspiracy to hide it, and it's she's come up from under the ground and up in a pipe, and they were there, and and there's this problem, and spent the last several weeks just throwing up anything that anybody said. This guy was looking kind of funny because he had his hat on sideways, or the thing, this guy was that, and she's got the string going and going, okay, and everything is about 6 separations from the Jews, but everything is, and she's on top of it, from her perch there and thousands of miles away. She knows more about the more than the FBI and all that, because she's got the Candace investigative team on this, looking at everything and coming up with every kind of conspiracy. And then she's just straight out lied about things that Charlie was involved in. He was just about to announce that he was becoming Catholic, which is, if anyone, and people have utterly debunked that there's no way on God's earth he was converted to Catholicism. Loved the Catholics, thought they were theologically way off base on too many things. Okay, but loved them as fellow Christians, but wasn't going to become that. And then, all of his Jewish donors were this and that, and all of them came out and said, no. There was a secret meeting where they were trying to, offer Charlie $150 million, and Charlie didn't ever take money from overseas. He refused, and even when they sent it to him without his permission, they sent it back. Okay, took no money from anybody. So, and then this guy was that, and they were threatening to withhold the $150 million that he wouldn't have taken anyway, or that they were gonna that everybody knew he didn't take, or this, that, and the other. That never ends. And as one is debunked, she just washes off like duck off of water off a duck's back and moves on to the next one, nailing Jello to a tree. So she's just, and her friends have come out and said, her former friends, people that consider her a dear friend, are coming out saying, I don't know what's going on, even fellow conspiracists, Glenn Beck, he's like, oh my God, I like a good conspiracy. This girl's off the nuts. Nick Fuentes, okay, Uber Jew hater, came out and said, Candace, this is nuts. Okay, the Jews didn't kill Charlie Kirk. I would love it if I could point and say the Jews killed Charlie Kirk, but they didn't. This is too nuts for Nick Fuentes. Okay, so, and Dave Smith say the same thing. It's like, guys, you're seeing stuff that's just not there. You're seeing links that just don't exist. Come on. So even conspiracists, even people are like, look, I'm up there, the president of the conspiracy club. This is nuts, Candace. Stop. But she just goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and then Netanyahu read one line from a thing, and if you read the whole letter, because she said, I have the letter. I have a copy of the letter. I know what's in the letter. He needs to read the whole thing because it really is him turning on Israel. So they released the entire letter, and then she said it wasn't real, and then the turning point, and that, they all said, yeah, it's real. And his whole spiel was, love what you're doing, but you suck at online getting your message out. Okay? Don't have any problem at all with anything you're doing, except you suck at online distribution of what you're doing. Let me help you. And he spent 7 pages explaining, here's how you do your online apologism better for your case. Here's how you make a better case online. And call me if you want some help with this, because you suck at that. Totally disagree with the one single thing, except the way he was getting his message out. Okay? So, and then just, well, maybe it's not real, and maybe, it just keeps moving around. And then she goes and says, oh, you can't be a Jew, you can't be a Messianic Jew. Suddenly, the book of Candace, she's like, oh, you can't be a Jew and be a Christian, which is a big surprise to all of the Messianic Jews that are Jewish, that have converted to Christianity. Okay? People went through the whole Bible and debunked that all the apostles call themselves Jews and uber Jews and Christian. Okay, you don't have to abandon your Christianity. You don't have to follow certain rules, and there's differences in theology, but not on the important part of Christ is Christ. Okay, and so they debunked that. You can't be a Messianic Jew, and her whole thing is attack everybody, and me, and I, and I know all this stuff that nobody knows, and I'm just asking questions. She's very careful about not straight out saying things that will get her sued, although she's really crossing that line. And there's several people saying I'm going to have to sue her because she's defaming me falsely. And then she's trying the Tucker thing, but it's not near as well. It's like, well, I'm just asking questions. I'm not stating anything. I'm just drawing these pictures and draw these lines together. I'm just asking questions about them. Say this connects to this, and see how this is connected to that. I got all the strings on the board here, and all this stuff connects, and it all points back to every string points back to the Jews. But I'm not saying it's the Jews. I'm just asking questions, And then when they get debunked, what she's saying, or she's outright proven to be lying or twisting the facts, then she just ignores that and moves on. And I don't know at this point, many are saying this, and this is if you look around, and then she, of course, her cult following are just like, oh, you're just afraid of questions. You're just, you need to trust, and then it's just trust. And then she constantly says, I'll bring the facts tomorrow, and then never does. I'll bring the facts about, I have receipts. And then she'll dare you. If you don't show this thing, I'm going to bring the receipt to show you. I have the receipt, and I'll show it if you don't do this. Oh, why don't you show the receipt? And then she never does. Never shows the receipts. And then when those few receipts that she does show are completely not proving, often disproving what she says she's proving with them, and people come on and go, oh, no, here's your receipt is false and doesn't say what you want it to say, and she just move on to the next thing. And and then she's, I was being invited back to TPUSA. Well, they're board members of TPUSA. Eric Bowling, okay, it's like I've been here for years. Charlie had a quiet divorce with Candace. Still loves and cares about her, but she went down the rabbit hole, was his words. She went too far down the rabbit hole years ago, and he said, hey, we're going to have to, you're going to go do your thing over there. And a very quiet divorce. And Charlie, to his credit, very loyal to his friends, is not going to abandon his friend, is not going to debate. People ask you, will you debate Candace Owens? He said, I'm not debating Candace Owens. Yeah, you don't do that as a Christian. You don't do what Candace Owens is doing. Certainly after the man is dead and can't defend himself, then she's making all these claims about him that everybody's saying just not true. He was about to bring me back, and he was on my side, and he was about to become Catholic, and he's praying to the rosary, and he's doing all this stuff, and it's like, and the man can't defend himself, and she's just causing constant contention at TPUSA, saying things about them, making demands on them. I challenge you to say I'm lying, or, blah, 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 or this or that. And it's like, leave his grieving widow alone, maybe. Maybe talk about what a great man he was. Not about your favorite conspiracies of, the CIA and the FBI and the Jews, they're all doing stuff. They killed Kennedy. They killed Elvis. It's those Jews. They're running the world. And they killed Charlie because he was saying something bad about him in the mysterious letter they that released that he didn't. It's certainly an unchristian way to act. Let the man's body grow cold before you use it as your method of getting millions and millions of dollars off your friend, off the clicks and the clicks and the clicks, and everybody, oh yeah, Candace has got the real story, and click, 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 ching, 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 ching. Made millions of dollars off your dear friend, and it is fucking ugly. It is fucking ugly, and this woman has gone from what was once a beautiful woman to just an ugly woman that's just ugly way beyond skin deep. It's just to the bone. This has become an ugly, sick, disgusting, despicable human being. And she keeps getting worse. And when people call her out and say, sister, I'm praying for you, just stop this. And she just doubles and triples and quadruples down. And it's horrifying. It's ugly. And so it's you should listen to everybody, and she's out there making certainly a lot of big claims. I'd ask you what I always do. Go investigate her claims, just as all the conspiracy people like, oh, you got to wake up, you got to learn something, you got to be willing to look deep, and then they just accept whatever they say and move on, not realizing that, yeah, people lie, everybody lies, the government lies, people lie about the government lying, okay? So just do what she says. Go actually look deep and see if she's making any valid claims, and in a very short while you're going to realize she ain't. You're going to realize she's nuts. And maybe certifiable schizophrenic. I'm certainly no doctor, but she's seeing things she's either seeing things that just aren't there, and I hope, frankly, that's the case, that she's just sick and maybe can get some medicine, get some help, and that she's just not just blatantly just making stuff up. And I would invite all of you that are from a Christian perspective, you want to believe conspiracy theories, I think there's plenty of room for that, and I think you should try to find out. But the one thing that you cannot do as a Christian, is bear false witness against thy neighbor. Okay, that's one of the big ones. Okay, if you follow in the Bible, if you read up on what God really thinks about those that bear false witness against thy neighbor, gossip, he freaking hates it. Okay? Okay, he goes on about how much he hates it. Hates telling lies about people, telling lies about his son, telling lies about his people, especially that people that call themselves part of the family, part of the Christian and Jewish family, lying about each other. Okay, it's talked about as equivalent of killing a man. If you've lied about him, it's the same level of violence against him as actually killing him, because you've destroyed the one thing that of any value in a man is his integrity. God abhors a gossiping tongue. So I would just ask you that, of all of the conspiracy theories, you believe this or that, or the government or whatever, but when you have a conspiracy theory that says that it's telling lies about a man, or what may be lies about a man, be very careful that you know damn well that it's true before you go passing that gossip and that lie on, reposting it. Okay? Because reposting lies about people, spreading the lies, gossiping tongues are abhorred by God. So I would keep that in mind for the Christians that may encounter this. Just be very careful what what information you pass on that may be lies. It's not innocent. Oh, well, I didn't know, Well, you can know. And until you know, you're required as a Christian by God to not be spreading things as truth until you know damn well that they're truth. So I invite you to be very careful about that. And to the rest may not have a religious belief or affiliation. It's just evil to spread lies about anybody, whether it's from God or not. It's true. And just basic morality is we don't spread lies about people unless we know. If you know it's true, if you've done any bit of diligence and found out that to be true, that's perfectly fine. I think we're to call out people that are evil or acting in evil ways, doing evil. That's fine. Just make damn sure you know you're right. If we don't do that, we're the evil one. Okay. Anyway, I hope she can turn it around. I hope she go get some help, or that she just. And have I researched? Yeah, I've followed her more and more. It's like watching a train wreck. I can't even stop, but I can only listen for so long before I just want to claw my eyes out, poke my ears out with an ice pick, because it's really, really hard to listen to. But yeah, Candace Owens has gone off a cliff. She is an absolute train wreck. And I think she would make Art Bell or Jones. I think he'd make the pass. I think she's the GOAT of conspiracy theorists. So at least she's got that.